What up, guys? Kevin here. Happy Tuesday. Happy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo day. We might get a demo that I'll be playing on my PS5 and not my Series X. And that is one of the reasons why Xbox has failed. But I want to make a video just explaining what happened. It feels like it just happened overnight. Like Xbox was doing good and then they swept the rug out from under us. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? What the hell? This is our time. This is our time. So, as somebody who roots for Xbox, I want Xbox to do well. I'm not like one of these crazy Xbox fanboys who are having complete meltdowns on Twitter. I'm not there like, you guys lied to me. I felt betrayed. Ugh. Seriously, anyone that uses that type of language, like they felt betrayed, lied to, blah, 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 they need a wellness check. They need to be, 5150? They really do need help. They need help bad. They let a $1 trillion corporation fool them. And for me, I'm just over here. It's like, you know, when your buddy is dating a girl and you see the signs way clearer than he does. It's like, dude, man, she's stepping out on it. Dude, she's cheating, man. She's cheating. And he's like, no, I know her. You don't know her like I know her. She loves me. And then it finally happens, and it's like, damn, sorry, I tried to tell you. So what happened with Xbox? Where did it all go wrong? Well, it was something happened towards the end of the 360 generation where when Don Matrick took over and they went all in on the Kinect, especially with the Xbox One. And you got to remember, like the Xbox One was doing quite well for the first couple years. But they just didn't have the games. They didn't have the games. And then here's where they absolutely went wrong. In whenever Phil Spencer took over or whenever that happened, early on or halfway through the Xbox One generation, Phil should have been making games for launch. Like, he should have went crazy with getting games for launch for the series consoles, and he didn't. That's where that's probably his biggest failure, is not getting games ready for the launch of the series console. That didn't happen. We know the Xbox One generation did not end up too well, but throughout that generation, they could have went, yeah, let's make sure we have games at launch. And they tried to get Halo Infinite, which would have been huge, but that was delayed. And they really didn't have any games at launch. That is a huge failure. You don't launch a box with no games. I really do think that is Phil Spencer's biggest failure. Biggest failure. So you take just the bad juju of the Xbox One generation and it just carries over the Xbox Series generation. And by that time, it's you need to show us. Xbox went from like, all right, just do good and we'll buy your console, to, all right, you need to do good, but we need to see it consistently. As soon as Xbox went to that mode where from the public, we need to see greatness and we need to see consistent greatness before we even think about you, it was over. And they had a great 2021, but 2022 was a failure. They didn't release any games, or games got delayed, and Halo Infinite had a really bad year. Remember, it launched well in 2021, and then 2022, it was like, this is it? Uh-oh, this is really bad. But now they got it back in 2023 and on. And then they had a pretty decent 2023. They released games. Some of those games got really good scores. But the consistency is just not there. But let's talk about Game Pass. This is where I want to focus on Game Pass. And I think Xbox focused maybe a little too much on Game Pass. It's the place where you pay a one low monthly fee and you get to play these awesome games. What happened? What happened with Game Pass? They went all in on Game Pass and Game Pass failed. Well, again, they had some good momentum. They got up to about 30 million subscribers about a year or two ago, and they just stalled. And it seems like no matter what they do, Starfield, Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, you name it, it's just not doing it. It's just not gaining subscribers. And then the writing's on the wall. Our games are not doing it. Okay, we have to rely on other games. This is why Game Pass, I don't want to say failed. It's still going. They just announced more games. Where are the Activision games? Been, 4 months and still no Activision games. But this is where Game Pass is struggling. Let's look back at 2023. What were the biggest games of 2023? Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Alan Wake 2, even though it didn't sell well, Resident Evil 4, and I don't know, let's throw Dave the Diver in there. The biggest games don't come to Game Pass. When you can't even get a Baldur's Gate 3, like they couldn't even lock it up. I think they offered a really low fee. This was before the game blew up. And they couldn't get that. They couldn't get the biggest game. When Xbox, you can't get the biggest games. Yeah, of course you can't get Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom. They're not on your platform. But that's what Game Pass needs. Those big games. Those big, like, oh, I want to play that game. Oh, crap, I can play that on Game Pass on the cheap. The year before, they couldn't get an Elden Ring. They couldn't get I don't know what else came out. Again, all the big PlayStation games, they're not putting it on Game Pass. But that's the issue with Game Pass. Cool, we get Eliza P. Every now and then you get like a Pow World, the game that does blow up, that is on Game Pass. But that is so rare, few and far between. So Game Pass is just kind of stuck in that, it's going to be stuck in that maybe 30 to 50 million range. I'm sure when they get like Call of Duty and all that, it will go up to maybe about 50 million. But that's not enough, and that's why Xbox is putting their games everywhere. It's gone to the point where I'm hearing that they may stop doing day-and-date games on Game Pass, which is insane. That's a huge, like, yeah, we can't do it. But yeah, that's just where Xbox went wrong. It just seems like everything they try to do just doesn't work, or just doesn't work to the extent where Xbox is happy. They're not a happy customer. Now, I want to address the Game Pass, because I'm seeing Nintendo fanboys and PlayStation fanboys just, they're taking their victory lap and saying, well, this is what happens when you don't buy your games. Xbox is in this position because you didn't buy their games. That is the dumbest argument I'm hearing. Those people are seriously retarded. They have to buy their games. They have to buy their games. So they're mad at us for not buying games and going to Game Pass. Here's the issue. Here's the issue with that. I think Kid Smooth said it as well. It's like, it's all about market share. Only X amount of people. Sure, there's only like 30 million. At most, 5 million people are going to buy it? That's still not good enough. That's not good enough for Xbox. And if they're buying it, they're not subscribing to Game Pass, which Xbox wants. Xbox would rather get maybe like 50 to 70 million people subscribing to Game Pass than 5 million people buying their games that come out. It doesn't matter how much or people subscribe to Game Pass over buying the game. That did not do anything. That did not result in Xbox failing. But yeah, so we'll see what the news is next week. Again, I don't care. Games come to, seriously, if the Halo Master Chief Collection comes to PlayStation, you damn right I'm platinuming all those games. And I think a lot of people will be happy about it. PlayStation, Nintendo won. It's just, they've been the default. They've always been the default, and Xbox has never been the default. Xbox, when you really look at it, they've never been it besides the 360 generation, and that's because the Wii was doing something weird and no one, real gamers didn't care for it. And then the PS3 was a complete failure up until they dropped the price and they started having games come out. And then that took over and sold more than Xbox 360. So when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, Xbox, you did the best you can. You know, it's just PlayStation and Nintendo are default. Those are the two that we go to. Just kind of reminds me of like American cars. Like no one wants an American car. Maybe American truck, but American cars, like all the features, all the doodads, and all the greatness. Oh, it does this, it does that. I'd rather just go get a Toyota Corolla. And I think that's how most people think. Yeah, just go get a Toyota. But, all right, well, I got to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. The meltdowns on Twitter, it has to end. Like, holy It's to the point where I think they love it. I think a lot of these fanboys love it. They love the attention they're getting. That's their true Xbox game is Twitter. Secretly, it is quite insane that no matter what's going on, we're always talking about Xbox. And I think Xbox is getting tired of that. Like, all right, talk about something else and maybe then we can make some money. All right, I got to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Later.